Maggie had always been a meticulous person. Every detail mattered to her, and she took pride in the small things, whether it was organizing her bookshelf by color or making sure every letter she wrote was perfectly phrased. So, when she sat down to write a letter to her grandmother on her birthday, she took her time. She thought about every word, ensuring the message was heartfelt and warm. She folded the letter carefully, placed it in an envelope, and sealed it with a smile. She'll love this, Maggie thought, feeling pleased with her effort. She walked to the mailbox, dropped the envelope inside, and went about her day, satisfied that everything was in order. The next morning, Maggie's phone buzzed. It was a message from her mother. "Your grandmother loved your letter. She was so happy to hear from you." Maggie smiled at the message, pleased that her grandmother had appreciated the birthday note. But then, something caught her mind. There was something nagging at her, a little detail she hadn't thought about before. She quickly opened her drawer where she kept all her stationery. There it was, the neatly folded, extra piece of paper she had meant to include in the envelope. The one with the little sketch of a flower she had drawn for her grandmother. Her grandmother loved flowers, and Maggie had thought it would be a lovely touch, but in the rush to send the letter, she had forgotten to add it. The realization made Maggie's stomach twist. How could she have missed something so simple? She thought about her grandmother, sitting in her cozy chair, reading the letter, completely unaware of the tiny drawing that would have brightened her day even more. Maggie sighed, walking to her window to look out at the bright sky. The forgotten sketch seemed like such a small thing, but to her, it felt like a missed opportunity, a detail that had slipped through the cracks. Later that afternoon, Maggie decided to make it right. She sat down at her desk and quickly drew another flower, even more detailed than the first. She attached it to a new letter, expressing her regret for the afterthought she had left out. She dropped it in the mailbox with a sense of relief, hoping that this time she hadn't forgotten a thing. As Maggie waited, she realized something important. Her grandmother wouldn't mind. The first letter had already shown her love, and that was what truly mattered. The afterthought, the drawing, was just a bonus, a small gesture, but it wasn't what made the letter meaningful. A few days later, Maggie received another message from her mother. "Grandma got your second letter today. She loved the drawing, but she told me that the words you wrote in the first one meant the most to her. She said she'd keep both letters by her bedside." Maggie smiled softly, the feeling of relief settling in. The afterthought was nice, yes, but the true gift had always been in the words she'd written first.